Well, research ethics is really what guides us in doing research in a manner that ensures nobody gets hurt as a result of the process of generating knowledge. And there are principles that guide us around this. I think the core ones we generally know: do no harm, data protection and confidentiality, the right of research participants to withdraw. There are a number of them. So the aim of all this is to ensure that we are generating knowledge in a way that does not harm particularly those who are involved in the research process, our research participants, research targets, and that category of people. Well, research ethics matter because they actually ensure that we're doing research in a manner um, that is acceptable to everybody, in a manner that respects and promotes human rights. And it also matters because research ethics ensures that our work is credible, that we get credibility for it because we go through the institutional review mechanisms that make sure that our research instruments, data collection instruments are okay, that the questions we are asking are okay, that they are not offensive to the communities. My approach to research ethics is really to say we need to broaden the scope of what we do when we talk about ethics, when we want to protect people involved in the process. I think there's a one-sided view that we take. We tell one side of the story. We problematize the fact that a lot of times without people checking us, without institutional review mechanisms and ethics review committees checking what we do as researchers, then we tend to violate the rights of participants and in the global south communities that we study. But then I think a lot more needs to be done beyond having mechanisms that are particularly concerned with research participants. We need to be having holistic approaches to how we do research ethics. We need also to protect researchers. We need to protect research assistants. We need to protect study teams. I also think we need to protect our PhD students. I think we need to protect our academics in the faculty because these are the people who are doing research, isn't it? So we need to protect our PhD students. We need to care about the impact that the study, PhD work has on them, on their well-being, their mental well-being. Because we have seen so many headlines that say, academic work, research work takes a huge toll, and nobody is talking about this, not nearly as much as they need to talk about it. So we need people to talk more about it. We need our universities to have more institutions and systems that provide for that bit of research work, because we have, as I said, institutional review boards within the universities. We have ethics review committees within the universities. But then what do we have to protect PhD students? What do we have to protect academics who are engaged in research? What are the institutional mechanisms that exist? Can we begin having conversations and maybe setting them up? So that would be my approach to doing ethics and protecting human rights in the context of knowledge generation and research. Feminist ethics is really an approach that focuses on the caring for people. So, as distinguished from, say, justice, where we are concerned with purely protecting the individual and the rights of the individual, feminist ethics is concerned with caring not just for the individual, but caring about the way in which people relate to each other. It is more holistic in that sense. It is concerned with relationships, it is concerned with communities, it is concerned not just with human rights, but well-being. So when we talk about caring, it is a broader concept that has been expounded, and I say this with a lot of confidence, within feminist academic discourse. using the feminist ethic of care approach, we see research as being a relational process. We therefore stop this idea of saying you need to disengage as a researcher. Do not get too involved with the research participants. We therefore begin to care more. We care as researchers about our participants. Therefore, that gives us more tools to protect the research participants. But then we also care about the people who are involved in the process, our research assistants. What types of contractual arrangements do we give our research assistants for going out in the field and helping us to collect our data? Do we care in case they have occupational accidents while out in the field? Do we provide for those? Do their rights matter? Do their labor rights matter? So therefore we provide fairer contractual arrangements for them. When it comes to the way in which we relate with donors, we are basically saying our basic capabilities matter. So therefore, do not look at me either as a PI on a project or, a research coordinator purely for my academic work or expertise that I'm bringing, but begin to see me as a human being. Do I get mental health issues because I'm out there sometimes dealing with really difficult topics? There are certain topics. I work on gender a lot. There are topics that will take a huge impact on our emotional and psychological well-being. Do donors care about that effect on PIs and research coordinators and study teams in general? How should we provide for this? How do we provide fairer working practices so that even as we are generating knowledge, we are not doing harm? I think, therefore, that feminist research ethics provides more tools for us to ensure that we are protecting human rights. And we are not just concerned with the protection of human rights, but we are concerned with the well-being of everybody involved in the process of generating knowledge. I think the generation of knowledge is so important, but then it should not have all these negative consequences that we see. In the African context, we now are doing a lot of work around the feminist ethic of care and feminist research ethics because of the tools that it gives us to care more, not just for the individual. The way of life in Africa is really very communal. And we recognize that. So we want to protect our relationships. We do not want to harm our relationships. We think that people are better off in that context, in that social context where relationships are nurtured, where we care about the work that we do, the impact that it has, not just on ourselves, but on those that we encounter around us. So really, feminist ethics is a critique of really the mainstream models of research ethics and the mainstream models of research as it is. And I think it provides wonderful tools for us to do more with what already exists and in the communities in which we work.